Now, Italy is entering another period of political turbulence after the resignation of the Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. He hopes that Italy's head of state, President Sergio Mattarella, will ask him to try to form a new, stronger alternative government. Well, Mr Conte lost his majority in the Senate last week after Italia Viva, a small party led by the former Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, left the fragile ruling coalition. Joining me now from Rome is our correspondent Mark Lowen. Mark, we've been anticipating this resignation.
We have, Gita, because without a majority in the upper house of Parliament, which is what happened last week when Giuseppe Conte lost it, it would have been a torturous process to get any legislation at all through Parliament. There would have been horse trading and negotiations on any kind of legislative step. And facing another vote later on this week on passing a piece of legislation, it was thought that Giuseppe Conte decided to quit before he lost that vote. He has now gone to see the president here in Italy, and as a quirk of Italian politics, when a prime minister resigns, he might simply just return following weeks of negotiations to try to build a new strengthened coalition. And he will argue that in the midst of a pandemic that has killed more than 85,000 Italians and unleashed the worst economic crisis since the Second World War, now is not the time to plunge Italy into fresh elections. However, if he fails to get the numbers needed to command a parliamentary majority, that task would fall to other political leaders, and if all else fails, then yes, Italy would be facing fresh elections.
And who is he going to be reaching out to, and how will that change the sort of focus of the government, given that there has been this criticism on the whole handling of the pandemic?
Yeah, he'll be reaching out to various centrist members of the opposition, trying to peel them away, to focus minds, to give them a kind of sense of urgency now to come together in what he will call a government of national salvation, to try to lead Italy through the very difficult next few months. And there's another factor in all of this, Gita, which is that opinion polls suggest that if elections were to be held now, then a right-wing coalition would come into power, and the biggest party would be the far-right League Party led by the firebrand nationalist Matteo Salvini. And so Mr Conte will argue and will hope that that potential threat would focus enough minds among centrist politicians to kind of rally behind him and decide to form a new coalition led by him. But nothing is certain in this country, of course, and Italy's 66th government since the Second World War comes to a close. But possibly Italy's 29th Prime Minister since the Second World War will simply return as Italy's 29th Prime Minister since the Second World War.
Mark Lowen in Rome. Politics always interesting there. Thanks so much.